diseños de producción los domingos varias horas antes del juego.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
How's it going?
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Hello.
my challenge today was when I wanted to open Coach Group 2, wouldn't let me in. Has that happened to anybody else? Hi, Linda.
Hello.
That hasn't happened to me, no.
Hello.
Well, I'm the lucky one.
So we all in.
Morning, Scarlett. How are you?
Everyone. Let me see how many. Let me see. Oh, 17. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Linda. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Linda.
How to say? Okay, let's begin. I think I came to study YBC from I think 2016 in December 2026 after the Christmas I came here. So the first time when I came here, I just there is a kind of academic and the teaching department have how to say have a new they try about we will have invite the parents to the classroom. The first time I had open house, it is so I just want to say from the beginning until now we have a lot of try in the different materials, and I feel very happy, and I want to say thank you to every teachers because you really work very hard to cooperate with the MIBC. I think this time, the academic and teaching department really make a lot of difference. Before, at the beginning when I came here, I think the materials it's really a kind of challenge to the coaches. But coaches every time, no matter what kind of changes, let me show you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this one. You can see this one. We will invite the parents come to the classroom. The coaches will ask, do you have a pet at home? What is it? I had some video, but because time, I just show this one. Like the parents will answer like maybe in English. And sometimes the parents, because they can read Chinese, we put Chinese there. So we had some fun as because it's the first time we want the parents can join in the classroom and have some conversation directly with the coaches. But step by step, we find that some parents, the English is limited. So we have the report. And in December, in 2017, we have a kind of new try. We call it like a double 10 course. There we have a new try. Also, we because in the courseware at the beginning, we always like the parent, like the coaches try to give like a lot of like Google images like that. We have kind of try like the parents can choose a time and choose a teacher, and teacher need to finish all the teaching target. We have this kind of try also. So we have a different kind of try about the materials and about coaches. Really, you work very hard. No matter what kind of different materials we give, I find that coaches can have the good class if you just have a good idea, cooperative certificate. Nowadays, when I came back from my maternity leave, I really found that academic and teaching department make a lot of difference. The materials, I can see, wow, like this, I really feel very happy. And some coaches may ask, oh, because I don't have the new trial classes, I have the old materials. So I don't need to do this, don't need that. But we found out as I think in the middle of August, step by step, some parents will use like new materials. If they decide to change the materials, they will change too. And it is a change. We have to move on. So that's why we have this seminar academic this meeting. And I also want to listen to coaches' idea. And I invited like the manager of academic teaching department, Scarlett, to come here to talk with us together. Let's have something in common, and we have the same like a mission, and how can we do, and then we can make the work better. Okay. So do you know Scarlett?
Hi, everyone. I'm Scarlett.
Good morning, Scarlett.
Hi, Scarlett.
Hi,
And welcome to the
Hi,
meeting.
Scarlett.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think I know Jack, because Jack have sent a lot of teaching materials to me to help me to, with the, courses and the courseware. Thank you very much. I know
You're welcome.
Christine, two Christines. One with C and one with K. We are friends. And many other teachers, maybe this is the first time we meet each other. But if you joined our training session, then I think you've already know me.
Okay. I think everyone knows Scarlett. She's also in our coach group 1, coach group 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have any questions, she always there. And Caitlin, I think Scarlett knows Caitlin. I just do maybe.
Caitlin.
Yeah.
Caitlin.
Sarah, Helen, Rachel.
Luigi, Diana. Oh, I think I know most of you
Hi,
guys.
sorry, I'm wrestling a baby.
Melissa, hi.
Hi, Scarlett.
Lisa.
Quit, Scarlett.
John. William.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Sarah is here. Janet.
Cheers.
Janet is a new teacher. Okay, we have a lot of here.
Yeah. And well, actually, I reviewed your test results every day. So, and I think you've done a great job there.
I'll get mine in soon. I didn't realize there was a test.
It's a kind of like a test to make sure everyone knows how to use the new courseware.
Okay.
So since we launched the new trial classes in mid-July, so I think most of you have already taught the new classes, right? Do you have any feedback? And then we can talk about that to discuss how we can make the class better and how we can help the students to first to improve their language skills, and then most importantly, we can help them to find their own ways of learning English and to encourage them to learn by themselves. Any feedback or advice?
Okay, I think Rachel had a trial, had a new trial classes, yes?
Rachel?
Yeah, you need. Hi, Rachel, we cannot hear you.
Yeah.
There.
You yourself. Yeah.
Sorry.
You have to unmute yourself, Rachel.
Hi.
There you
There
go.
we go. Yay. Yes. Hello.
Hi, Rachel. Any feedback or advice?
I really enjoyed it. I like being able to click on the different pictures and how they come forward. I love it. I love the chants. I think that's great. The kids seem to really enjoy that. And then the patterns, that's great. I do think it would be kind of neat. I did some of the older trials as well. And I think it would be really neat to still incorporate maybe very short, maybe songs. Children love songs, still have some of that maybe, just to break up the lesson a little bit, because, you know, they do very well with the lesson, but I don't know, it's just kind of a break for them and a break for us to kind of think through, okay, how are we going to move forward with the next steps of the lesson? So I just thought that might be kind of neat. But yeah, I've loved it. It's been wonderful.
Well, I agree with you. Particularly for the level 0 and level 1, I think we need some videos and audios or songs to make it more interesting. But the thing is that in the past we received a lot of feedback from the parents. They thought that playing songs or watching videos in class is a waste of time. That's why we just we didn't add this part in this new courseware. But I think, maybe in the future we will put 1 or 2 videos in each courseware. Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yes.
Songs are really good because it gets both hemispheres of the brain working at the same time, and it allows the language to go deeper into their subconscious. So singing songs is really good for a learning technique.
Absolutely.
Videos, not so much, but singing songs, absolutely.
Yeah,
Just my opinion.
Particularly those closely related to the topic or the words, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. I've had the experience, for example, that some of the students who like songs, they even chant their their sentences, right? Like I like blah, 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 right? So it kind of like helps them remember whatever we're learning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's great. I'll put it down.
Anyone
Good warm up too.
I have a question.
Yes.
I've only done one trial with the new courseware, and it was a level 2. The student was unfortunately closer to level 1 or level 0. He was very very basic, and my understanding is that you don't want us using Google Images to kind of prompt things that they like or ideas or things like that. Is that still the case, or is it like a little bit we can use it? What do you suggest if the trial class they're not at the level that the trial is, to make it an experience where not just the student but the parents really feel that they are learning something, if the courseware is not adjusted to their level?
Thank
What
you.
do you think?
Well, I would like to ask other teachers, what's your opinion on that?
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any experience, please? Yes, please.
I think that if you're in a trial class and you go to Google Images, that the parents are going to see that and think, well, I can go to Google Images myself. What are we doing in the school? So I think in the trial class, sticking to what the trial material is, it's just, based upon what I know at this point, I think that would probably be the safest way to close a sale. And that's the objective, is to, bring more students in. make more money.
Well, that's what I did. It was just kind of pulling teeth. I felt like I was talking to myself for 30 minutes because he really didn't understand anything. And it wasn't the level 2 that we've really, they've been really showing us a lot of information on is making cookies. We've learned, we learned that one. We took our test on that one. The one I had was on being healthy. And there really wasn't much he knew about healthy. I'd done a lot of work because most of the trials I've had, the feedback I've gotten is to expand. So that's where I kind of came in with the Google images. Okay, do you like this? Do you like this? What can we talk about with this? However, with this student, it was the opposite. So it was kind of like really, really making it very basic for staying healthy and thinking about, I had pulled about props like fresh tomatoes versus canned tomatoes and all kinds of things to make it, more informational without using Google Images. However, it was like something that I just had to be very basic. And I like I said, I felt like I was talking to myself for 30 minutes. So I guess whether it's the new courseware or the old courseware, I'm looking for maybe any suggestions you guys have on when it's to make a sale.
Did you try inquiring about their ABC knowledge or vowels or anything like that?
Just just a little bit, just trying to talk, more. I'm a new teacher with the free one ABC, so I kind of also felt like sticking to the courseware was what is very, and also it was a trial. It was the first trial I had with the new courseware. So, just feeling like we needed to stick to it. And that's been kind of what we've understand through the objective is stick to the teaching, stick to the objectives and, all the initiatives. And so, I felt like I did, what was asked, what was required, and, try to still make it interesting. Just, I guess, if there's any other suggestions you guys have, that'd be great.
Linda and Scarlett, I have a follow-up question to Sarah's situation, because in old trials I've had that. Who decides what trial level they're going to take? Is it the parent?
Good question. Well, actually, the sales decide the first child class by themselves. Well, they just ask the parents some questions about the students, how many classes they've taken or how many years have they learned English. But, actually, we don't have an assessment before the trial class. That's why you have some students at level 0, but they are having classes that's level 2. That's great right now.
I have an assessment test.
And, Chinese parents are very confident, when their kids, they know some words like animals, colors, then they say, wow, my kids can speak English. That's why they have... they want to, students, even beginners, they want to have level 2, It's crazy. But we're working on that to make the parents know that they need to go into the right classroom, then they can get the best out of the class.
I was just wondering if, Scarlett, you came up with some parameters for parents. Hi, to be in level 1, student needs to know this already. Level 1, they need to know this, because we've all had students that are placed at a level where they're not going to thrive.
Right.
And I don't know if that kind of communication tool might help get kids assessed at the right trial level to begin with.
Yeah, I think a basic assessment test, especially since we have our trial reports are based on 5 stars, and we have an entire criteria of level, what's level 1, level 2, level 3, and all of the stars that we give for each section. Listening, reading.
Actually, the parents, before they decide to have a trial class, they've already had all the materials about the classes, the levels, different levels and the requirements and even the age and the contents they're going to learn. But some parents, they just want to try higher levels to see if their children can make it out. But that's a tough experience for teachers.
Yeah, it's tough. And if you're saying that there isn't really an assessment, that sounds like there kind of is an assessment in a way, a different, just maybe.
That's okay. In America, we have parents that are delusional too.
The thing is that actually you can decide which level. If they are really low level, then you can recommend them to go lower level, even maybe level 0. I think that's fine because you got the biggest say in the class. And this is the first class. But if you say it's okay, for example, the beginner student, they had a trial class of level 2, then you said, okay, fine, he or she can take the class then. Wow, that's the most, biggest problem for not only for the students but for the training, for our company, because I don't think the students who are in the wrong class can learn.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with you, Scarlett.
I think Melissa has something to say because she.
So my point was earlier for the videos where I think it just depends on the situation. Like sometimes to get like, I love cats, here's some cats or whatever, just to bond a little bit. I think that is nice because then all of a sudden maybe they can get excited or feel comfortable with you because you're also trying to create an atmosphere where they trust you because you want them as a student.
Yeah, that's right.
That was my only opinion.
I think that's where I was coming from with Google Images as well. It was not so much to use it as like a crutch, but just to kind of like establish a common ground.
Well, usually I would recommend teachers spend like a 2 or at least less than 3 minutes in the warm-up part. But in a trial class, I think it's reasonable to spend like 3 to 5 minutes to prepare the students for the class, and then to get to know the students like English level and their hobbies to make the following class more easier.
I think that's the topic I want to discuss, like the coaches can discuss with Scarlett and me. That is all teachers concern. When can we talk about extra content and how to give extra content without Google Images? So then we can come to a conclusion. What is our extension with the new materials? I mean.
Well, in the past, I've included extra material by creating PowerPoint stuff. So I can get images and material and create a PowerPoint slideshow around that topic at different levels so that I can access them, with extra time in the class.
Well, I can honestly say I feel like the new trial classes, they have so much content in them.
You might not need it.
But I do use the PowerPoint as well, and I think that's awesome. I've been doing that as well, just to have it ready to go, just in case the student is really quick. And I can honestly say I have taught classes where I have had students that didn't even speak at all the whole time. Maybe they were so very young, and and that can always be a challenge. So my positive feedback was good listening. Whatever it might be. So those kind of things can be very challenging, but I will say the content, there's so much of it that I haven't had to bring in a lot of extra at all compared to the first trial classes that I did a few weeks ago. So that's my input.
I do appreciate the extra content. That is great.
I think one of our main things that we can use too is ourself by stop share screen if you're struggling, and instead of Googling a cat, you can be a cat. Or this is kind of where some people don't want to be the puppet or don't want to have fun and play. But I found that if I stop share and I kind of put myself in as the video, I'm able to pull something out. So like to simplify a lesson, I would take the sentence structure and take words out. And if it's like on being healthy, I run, or I like to run, something super basic where you're showing them what run is, showing them what an apple is, something basic in that format. So you're connecting, they're gaining that trust, and it's kind of where you're silly. They see you kind of act a little lame or stupid, and maybe they come out of their shell a little bit and they feel a little bit more comfortable.
Right. Well, I think Christine is really good at this. Well, I think, expanding on the contents is not only Googling. We can, extra talk about something related to the topic about the students, so they can share their stories and they can talk more using the sentences and words given in the class. This is really a great idea. It's a kind of like expansion, but not only just Googling the pictures. Because I find that if you prepare the pictures before the class, then that's fine. Otherwise, it takes a lot of time to Google, you know. Sometimes the internet is not so good, then it's a waste of time.
And plus sometimes like inappropriate pictures.
Right.
Right. That's
Sometimes
true.
I fix a Google slide, and like in the lessons where it talks about clothing, maybe I'll have a picture of like a cat wearing some funny clothes or a dog wearing some funny clothes. So it's still something interesting, but like I have something ready that the kids will like, and I don't have to Google it. And the Google slides are really easy to work with. And I just use them. I mean, I keep them. I have a whole folder of 3-1-ABC. It's all in order. It's easy.
So you already done
really
Yeah, well, if you prepared the class before, you know, before the class, prepared the lesson before the class, I think that's fine. And well, our target is to, you know, to help the students to learn the new words and practice the key sentences in the class. We have like 4 to 7 new words and 2 to 3 sentence structures, or we call grammar points in each class. So as long as the students are using the words and the sentences, I think that's fine, because that's the teaching objectives of each lesson.
I think you can also do that as a song too. Like we've done role play where you sing the role play, you change the words in the role play to make the same meaning, but maybe they're a little more advanced, or you make it easier, but it's kind of your own way to add a song rather than a video.
Thank you. That's a good tip.
Also, I just wanted to bring out, sometimes my level 3s, they have a word, they don't understand what it means. I will Google the word so that we can read together what the actual definition or meaning is, even if it's just easy for me to explain it. I think it's nice for them to actually see the word, that it's tangible or how it's spelled or whatever. And that doesn't happen very often because level 3s know a lot, but just sometimes there's maybe 1 or 2 words per class that they're not sure of what it actually means.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Explain it in English or given some example sentences.
Yeah, exactly.
That is with what we also talk about like last time in the coach WeChat group, because when teacher like because some of the parents, they seldom watch the class. They ask the video from the homeroom teachers. Once they watch the video, they see teacher use some like Google translation. They will have some like a report to us like, oh, this teacher try to speak and learn Chinese in the English class. So yeah.
I noticed that because I watched a lot of videos and I found that well, some teachers, they like Googling, you know, Googling translation, things like that, and the students are happy about that. But the thing is that what we advertising is that we have an immersion class for the students. That means everyone speaks English. So I think, for example, paraphrasing or examples are perfect, but translation is not recommended. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that you can use some like simple English to explain the words, or try to make sentence, or use TPR or something like that. Because some kids, especially I have a daughter, I think something if always explain in Chinese, he will realize that, oh, I don't want to use a dictionary because he has like English dictionary, but he prefer to give like that directly. People are kind of lazy to rely on something. So that's why we don't have a Chinese teacher, a homeroom teacher in the class. So in China, a lot of maybe offline Chinese school, they have teacher assistant in the class. Yeah. And nowadays, parents prefer to have online teaching, online classes like 13ABC because they want to learn real English from the native speaker.
And you will find that in the level 3 class, we have many different ways of teaching vocabulary, like example sentences, or sometimes we even given the English, the definition in English, like paraphrase, things like that. And we also use opposites to teach the words in pairs. Yeah, many different ways.
So yeah, we
Sounds
talk
good.
about yeah, that. We already talk about like except the Google Images. Some teachers they prepare like Caitlin, like prepare own pictures, PDF or pictures, PPT before in class. Kelly said it is okay if you prepare in advance because won't waste some time as long as you prepared. And Christine also mentioned using the words or sentences in the role play to like it's also kind of some input expansion. We also want to talk about like a thing we want to mention about like just now we mentioned like we can give extra content. When can we give extra content? Scarlett mentioned at the beginning, especially for the new trial classes.
Yeah,
and
that part, yeah.
Also talk about in the middle of the class, like Christine said, like when we do role play, when we do something like that, we can replace the words as long as we use a key sentence and use the words or in a different way. And last time, I think Scarlett and we reviewed the video of Coach Savannah. After she finished all of the content, she do some like extra content like because as Scarlett just now talk about with us, like the first target is reach the teaching target, achieve the teaching target. So after finish the materials, she still have time, so she can talk about extra content. Okay, like what grade are you in? What do you like? And the boy also had some fun with the teacher. So that is what we talk about expansion and the extra content.
Yeah, so actually I would like to explain a little bit why we need to focus on the teaching objective. Because in the past, you know, our class or the courses are more casual, where everyone Googles and while the contents are taught based on the students' interests and the teachers' materials, but it's not standardized. But what we want to do is to standardize the class first, and then to improve our teaching quality. And on the other hand, we can also raise some requirements on the parents to help the students to do their homework or to preview before the class to guarantee that the student, they will acquire the teaching objectives. Because, you know, we did a lot of studies and we prepared several textbooks for ESL students. So I think the materials are well selected and all the words and sentence structures are really important for them to learn English in the long run. So that's why I think, well, for each class, we need to stick to our teaching objective and then to expand based on this, the content and the students and teachers' interests and hobbies. I think on that basis, the class will be, you know, greatly improved both in efficiency and effectiveness. Hope that you can understand why we always emphasize that we need to focus on the teaching objectives. Yeah. So any other things or questions about new course or the ways we can, you know, teach them better?
Is level 4 staying the same for now?
Yeah, unfortunately for the time being now, yeah, we still have the old courseware for level 4. But after we updating all the level 0 to level 3, then we're going to update level 4 and 5.
So level 0 is changing.
Well, level 0 is actually a new one because in the past we didn't have that.
Okay.
Yeah, we started level 0 last year.
The 45, totally 45 classes. In
no, 54.
Sorry.
54 classes. Level
I
0.
have a question. I want to ask the teachers, okay, coaches, like do you know what's the difference from the new courseware with the old one?
I love the new level 0 courseware. I have a class that's already using it. It's really it's a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah, we had actually 2 versions of level 0 because, well, I know them very well because I designed both of them. The first one includes reading class, but we noticed, the aim of designing this part is to help the students to get a sense of language, how the sentences are structured. But finally we found that we focus on reading comprehension. That's what we want because the students are too young to understand the whole story. And then in the second version, we removed this part, reading part.
Well, I'll tell you one challenge that I've had with 3 different students of various ages that were placed in level 1, but they probably hadn't had much English because they could do the level 1 work, but they didn't know anything about sight words. And in English, you have to know sight words. And one of them, who's 9, has gone through all 3 levels of sight words and now is able to not just do the oral work, but read level 1 classes. Another one is only 5, and he's more than halfway through level 2, which is kindergarten, and starting to read. And one is 4 and was put in level 1, probably should have been put in level 0. And she is just starting kindergarten sight words and is just starting to read. But what I do is I teach the level 1 class, and with the expanded time, do a sight word lesson. If in the new curriculum is so good and takes the whole 28 minutes, I worry for kids like those 3 that are put in levels without knowing English sight words. They won't read.
Wow, I have a suggestion for all of you. Well, when you give the trial class, well, for me, I think the rule is that if the students is a little bit below the level, for example, level 1, then I would just suggest to them going to level 0, start from level 0, because confidence is really important to the students to learn a new language. So when you
I had none of these students for their trial class. Somebody else evaluated them, and when I got them, they've been placed in level 1. But, you know, with the double teaching, they've done well. But I worry about a student like that without the time to do the sight word lesson.
In that case, maybe we can talk to the homeroom teacher and ask them to talk to the parents if they can help the students to catch up. If they can't do that, then we suggest them to lower level.
Yeah, the 2 that have parents that are working with them with sight word flashcards and stuff, doing really well. The one that has the parent who's too busy, not doing as well.
Yeah, so parents are very important. What we're going to do is to urge the parents to help the students to do the preview before the class.
That's one. Yes, I'm going to talk about. Like, I think the new courseware, the good part is like the parents, they can preview the class in advance before the class. Then the class can be a stage, like our boss said.
Yeah.
So they learn English before the class, learn some words or the preview. So that is the difference. I think the most important difference from the old courseware.
And we call it, you know, the teaching mode flipped classroom. I think you know that, right? Flipped. That means the students, they need to prepare to learn before the class, and in the class, well, they need to show, to perform.
That is
and
great.
Coaches are real coaches. You just observe and answer questions and help the students to solve problems in the class.
That is great, because I honestly think that some parents have these unrealistic expectation that only with 3 times a week of
That's
20
right.
minutes coming to a class they're going to learn, and without no preparation or no review, or not, you know, like studying at home or whatever. And that's not true. I mean, they have to practice, they have to study at home somehow. And that is actually good that you are encouraging them now to do something at home as well.
Yeah, and all the students, they will have a preview system, or they can log into the system and to learn the new words and sentences. They can read the sentences before the class, and we even have some explanation in Chinese and some exercises they can do to practice before the class. And we also will send the students a textbook so they can read. So maybe you needn't to prepare extra materials for them anymore.
Yeah. Show to the coaches. I mean the preview part.
Yeah, I think I show some of you, because now if you want to preview the system, then you need to sign up in the system. Yeah. And later, if possible, I will send, I think that's possible. We are going to send all of you a copy of the students' textbook, so you know what they get.
I think we haven't received that.
Yeah,
you emailed the
for
textbook.
trial classes, we have 2 sheets.
Can I ask a question? When is the courseware for all classes, not just trials? When is it going into effect?
Well, actually, I think next week.
Next week? Okay.
Yeah, some one-on-one classes, they are going to switch to this new courseware.
Okay.
The homeroom teachers are talking to the parents this week, and next week they're going to use the new courseware, and then all the new students, they're going to use the, I think the students sign up after July the 15th, they're going to use the new courseware.
What about the existing students?
Most of the existing students, particularly 1-on-2, they're going to, still use their old courseware. And then, I think it takes like 2 to 3 months. I think most of the students are going to use the new one. And those who upgrade, for example, upgrade from level 2 to level 3, they're going to use the new one too.
Okay, so most of my students are level 1 and level 2, so they probably will be in the I guess current or the previous courseware for a little longer.
Yeah, which unit are your students learning now? Which unit?
I don't remember the number, but it's either about the weather or the classroom.
If they are having the first or second unit, unit 1 or 2, then they are going to have some new classes after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
After that, so once they move to the new unit.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
But if they, for example, if they have already had like unit 4, unit 5, then they're going to stick to the old one.
Okay, but if they're early on within the unit, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Early in the new unit, like unit 1, 2, 3, they will
1, 2, 3,
have
yeah.
the new material.
Yeah, and if the parents, if the parents, they want their children to have new courseware, then we're going to change. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And talk with the homeroom teachers, we will inform the teachers, because some coaches worry like, one day when they get up, the materials are changed. So we will try our best to inform you to get prepared.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, let's continue. Okay, I think we already, Scarlett already helped us talk about the most important thing to achieve teaching target. And we also talk about some teacher already passed the test, already know finishing all of the teaching part, if you finish the main content, teaching content, the option part is not necessary. And we talk about give extra content, and we talk about the flipped classroom. Okay, Coach, do you have any questions? I think everyone can have a chance to ask questions. Luigi, do you have?
Well, no, I don't have any questions. I was just kind of doing a summary on what you guys said. And I think that specifically for trial classes, since we're trying to sell our company as a unique company, different, better than all of them, I think that we should keep in consideration that we should be prepared before the class. Therefore, we should have, like like someone mentioned earlier, predetermined pictures ready for any kind of challenge, whether it is a student who is got lots of strengths and it's got lots of vocabulary, or a student who's barely got a few words. So we should be prepared for whichever scenario. I think if we go during the class and look up Google Images, it shows that we're not preparing class thoroughly. I mean, that's my perception. I don't have PowerPoint, but I just have them all on a spreadsheet on Word. So I have them from easy to difficult. And since trial classes are always based on the same topics, it doesn't take much time to copy paste a few pictures around the topic and guide the students through them. Another thing that I wish to mention is that when I have a student that's very basic, as we mentioned earlier, I try to focus on 5 or 7 words only. That's it. And make sure I work them and he learns them, and we do the spelling, and then I do some TPR around it, or maybe just show them some intonation strategies. I know a lot of my friend workers here have lots of good intonation strategies. So I try to work on that when the students is really, really slow. And parents appreciate you taking the time on each word and focusing that. I've noticed that. So working on your bonding the first 5 minutes is essential, but also being prepared. I think it shows a lot of a good formal way to present the company and sell it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I would like to bring out that I like how when you're reading the words, especially with little kids, the word pops out. Like because if you run your cursor, I love how it pops out, and it really helps with sounding out words and looking at the word and makes it like which word they're working on. That is a great new feature.
Right. Thank you.
I think
we actually designed lots of new features in the system to help, to improve the interactive.
Yeah, I think the new emojis that we're practicing with, and I noticed I did a trial class last week and I didn't need any prep actually at all, because the curriculum was packed full of extra things. I wrote in the little chat, every image has little tiny objects, like a butterfly off to the side, or I noticed little extra things like that to add in for extra material and expand without leaving the page or going to Google as well.
Yeah. And I would like to ask Helen, what is your feedback on the new courseware? Because I watched several trial classes of yours.
Hello?
We can't hear.
Yeah,
Okay.
can you hear me?
Yeah, now.
Yeah. Okay, I had only one.
Oh, then I think I had some regular classes of yours.
Yeah, but that was absolute failure. It was phonics, and she didn't want to cooperate, so we had to go back to old material.
Okay, so what is your feedback? Do you have any questions?
Level 3, I liked. Level 3 was okay. I didn't try other levels.
Okay.
And I'm just not sure about this level 2 cooking for level 2. I'm not sure how to present it in interesting way. If there is a really, really small child. I don't like cooking, They are not very fond of that. So how can I sell that?
Making cookies, you mean?
Yes.
Making cookies, yeah.
Yes. I don't like to make cookies. I like to eat them very much. But for that, I have a shop.
Yeah, right. So I also get some feedback about that. That's why we are now working on new topics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think my opinion, that if we want to sell it, these trial lessons, after that we can put them something boring. But these trial lessons, they have to be extra fun and extra interesting, which means sports, animals, colors, things toys that kids can enjoy and be so happy and hysterical. Oh, I want to come back, and then, okay, now cookies. Now when they already sign in, now you got
Legos.
I have a question. If, for example, like while we have the topic, because for example, some girls, like my daughter, she likes making cookies. If the kid like making cookies and you don't like, how you have the class?
No, I will still do the same, but most of the kids, they don't like it. Can you imagine you getting a boy who cares only about football or Avengers, and you have him and me together talking about cookies? But that's disaster from a start.
Yeah, sounds weird. Right. So we are preparing new topics for each level now, particularly for trial classes. Well, actually, in regular classes, we have a lot of topics. In each unit, we have 2 small topics about a big theme.
Yes.
Who picks the topic lesson? The parents or the kids?
Well, actually, you mean for trial class? Probably
Yes.
the parents, you know. In China, parents decide most of the things for kids.
It makes sense. It's a good rule.
I will tell my daughter, okay, you wear this today, okay?
No, but level 3 was very, very nicely composed. This.
For level 3, we have now we have yesterday and today.
Yeah,
and
exactly. That one. That you have that you really can approach with a nice teaching skills. Yeah, because then you can check the tenses. Okay, how we are with the present past tense. All together, communication also very nice. I mean, if nothing else, we can talk about computers and phones and games. So you always can expand in a nice way.
I see. Oh, and another thing that I want to mention is that you will notice in the new courseware, for example, the topic is like staying healthy, but you have some extra pictures to exercise the sentence structures. Well, I get some feedback that some teachers say that the pictures are not consistent, or the topic is not so consistent. But our aim is to tell the students that they can use this sentence or the dialogue in different scenarios. That's why we have different, pictures for the same sentence structure. What do you think? Do you think that's reasonable? Because for me, I think teaching objectives like the key words and sentences are the most important thing in the class when we're teaching, when the students are learning. And we can, well, for example, if you think that the students is not interested in sports, then maybe you can use other scenarios or contexts to practice the sentence. That's what I think. What about you guys?
Rachel raised her hand.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I have found watching some of the video links that you've given us of teachers teaching these different subjects have been very helpful for me. I've also gone on YouTube to watch even some of the old courseware. I find watching other teachers helps me to learn how to expand the lessons. The making cookies, I was a little nervous about that, but I believe Daniel sent us a link of one of your teachers teaching that, and wow, it just helped so much. I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. And I've also learned a lot from Christine too. She's awesome.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate you guys posting those videos on YouTube. It's just so helpful. You learn all kinds of different techniques with teaching that you can add. So that might be a suggestion. Yeah.
No problem. I will also still select some, recommended videos and send to you guys. I watch videos every day. And I'm really happy to receive feedback from you guys, because you are teaching the classes, and your experience is very important.
Okay.
Not only
Please give us feedback though too.
We send you like Scarlett, the department really works very hard, like every day we work very late. So,
yeah, I got a very good team,
So if you have already had the new courseware, you can fill in the questionnaire. Yeah, Daniel and Sonia sent to you. You can fill in and give the feedback to the department.
Yeah, I review the feedback and your assessment results every day.
Every day.
Oh, I noticed that still some teachers are not so clear about the courseware structure of level 1, 2, 3, because they're a little bit different. In level 1, actually, we have dialogues for the students to practice the dialogue in different scenarios, different contexts. But in level 2 and level 3, we focus more on like independent expression, like picture talk, let's talk, or we can say show and tell, to give a small talk about a specific topic. And we focus on critical thinking to help the students to talk in a more organized way. So this is the difference between level 1 and level 2 or 3. But level 2 and 3, level 2, we still have to teach the new words in class. That means even the students, they have reviewed the new words and sentences, we're still going to teach them in the class. But level 3 is more advanced because we don't have the teaching part, just to practice. We call it preview check, to check if they've done the preview work before the class. So a little bit different. Okay. And your feedback is really important. And later I'm going to, to update the existing new courseware again, based on your opinions and your feedback.
Wow. Okay. I see Coach Rachel raised the hand again. Do you have anything to say?
Any other questions or feedback? Well, I really want to thank you guys for sending me the extra materials to help me to design the course, Jack. And Christine did a really good demo class last week, and I've already recommended them to Linda. And some other teachers like Sarah and Savannah and Helen and I think Miranda, they did a great job in both the assessment and the trial classes. And I hope you guys, if you have any question about the course or any ideas, just send me email. Okay?
Thank you, Scarlett.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you, Scarlett.
Thank you, Claire. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Good night. Have a good day. Bye. See you soon.
Have a good day. Bye.
Have a good day. Good evening.